Hello friends, this is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming and welcome to another Path of Exile video. Today I am going to be going over my trapper once again, my Pop Pop Bop It, the Fire Trapper. I've gotten up to tier 7 maps currently. This is my Atlas, only 31 out of 158. I'm trying to do it in order, but I'm having a hard time getting some of the 3 tier maps like Iceberg, Port, and Arcade, so I hope to be able to finish that. I'm probably just going to branch out and maybe go back and grab them later. And then here is my gear at the moment. I have this kind of alright scepter. It's pretty okay. It's one of the few items that I bought. The other item that I bought was this 5-link. I've been using it forever now. It's a little outdated. I hope to get a 6-link. That'll give me a big boost. The rest of it is self-found, so just some random janky stuff. I could do a lot better on this. This is actually okay with the 30 movement speed, a lot of life. Really low resistances, but it's still triple resist, so not too bad. This ring isn't too bad. I'd like to craft something onto it. The 41 dex is really nice. Double resist, some life, and chaos resistance is really important. I'd actually like to put some additional chaos resist on that if possible. And I still haven't crafted this. It's kind of got some pretty bad things on it, like the life gain on kill isn't that relevant. This is okay shield, 99 life and 13 all resist, and then 12 all resist, so a lot of all resist, and the elemental damage is actually really big. And lastly, I have this really bad helmet with the spare duration on it from the labyrinth. Just absolutely terrible there, but alright. So that is the character. I'm currently doing unbuffed entirely, 18,381.7 average damage. I throw 4 traps, so you can multiply that by 4. I can have up to 23 traps placed at the same time, so you can multiply it by 23 as well. So lots of damage, like potentially 4 million or so damage if I am able to lay down all of the traps in one burst, and you'll get to see that in action a little bit later. But first I'm just going to go over a quick build guide for this. We're going to go through and I'll tell you kind of what you want to pick up. So if you're starting as a shadow, what you can level up with, you can either level up with Spark, Freezing Pulse, you can even do Explosive Trap if you'd like, or even Magma Orb. Any of those are fine. Honestly, you could do Frost Blades very easily as well, so it's pretty versatile. I wouldn't recommend anything like Frostbolt and Blight, although Frostbolt feels a little better than it used to. And then you grab Arcane Surge, probably for your spell, is what you're going to want to pick up for 1 Wisdom Scroll when you get to town. And then you level up, if you're leveling with Spark in particular, but probably just generally speaking, you're going to want to pick up Orb of Storms for breaking some eggs. And then when you get to the prison, you want 3 actually. So you're probably going to pick up added cold or added lightning for your quest reward. And you can pick up also for 1 transmute, so sell unidentified blues and yellows to get transmute shards, which you can turn into transmutes. And with those, buy added lightning, multiple trap support, and maybe increased critical strikes as well, and level those in your alternate. I'm leveling up an increased critical strikes in my alternate, so it's usually good to level some extra gems in your weapon swap. So you get that going. You can also take combustion. I actually use that for the for my flamethrower trap 4-link, which is still very powerful and melts bosses even on a 4-link. So definitely worth doing. There might be better spells that you can use for that. But yeah, once you get to the pre-Merveil, once you get to Merveil's Caverns, you can get Fire Trap level 12. Start leveling that right away. You want to use it with multiple traps and either added cold or added lightning. It's really easy to get triple green on like a dagger, so maybe level with a dagger for a little bit. Try to get or if you can find triple green elsewhere, or green blue, whatever 3 socket you can get, you level either multi-trap, fire trap, and either added lightning and added cold. And the added damage on this, if you don't know, Fire Trap has 200% effectiveness of added damage. Just to give you an idea of how much damage that is, if you look at my current, I'm just going to take this off. If you look at this lightning damage right here, 205 to 3,927. If I remove the added lightning, it goes away entirely. So this is literally from this 18 to 345 damage goes to 205 to 3,927. Just to give you that kind of, so it's over 10 times the amount of damage with all of the additional damage and more multipliers that you get from like trap and mine damage. So very, very powerful. Added damage affects Fire Trap on such a profound level. It's absolutely insane. You'll be very, very surprised when you try it out. Same thing with moving on to Act 2, I'll tell you what to pick up there. But yeah, the added damage, when you get a 4-link, maybe even running double added damage could be worthwhile. But what you want to pick up here is for the right side, when you go over to the Chamber of Sins, you're going to want to pick up either both or 2 heralds. You can either pick up like Herald of Ice and Herald of Ash, or all 3 even. You could run all 3. The damage effectiveness is very, very strong. Herald of Ash actually doesn't give as much damage as I thought. It gives you more fire damage, and I thought that was going to be really relevant, but honestly speaking, just scaling elemental and trap damage, I feel like the Heralds of Thunder and Ice are a little bit more powerful. So you could go Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder, and then when you go over and fight the Weaver in Western Forest, you're going to want to get trap and mine damage. If you're using Shield Charge or Whirling Blades for your movement skill, you're also going to want to pick up faster attacks. And if you're using something like any of the like Lightning Warp or something, or Flame Dash, you can use faster casting. That works. Nothing else really to grab here. You can grab Controlled Destruction or Elemental Focus, but honestly I don't think they're that necessary. I think the added damage is a little bit more. For instance, if I take Elemental Focus, I'm just going to purchase one right now, and I compare that to how much I get from added lightning. It's actually going to be barely any more at all, and that's with the downside of not being able to inflict ignites, shocks, and most importantly freezes, which help you with your Herald of Ice, which gives you more clear, especially as you do that. Same thing with if you do Controlled Destruction, you are going to get a little bit more damage if we replace Controlled Destruction. Oh, our damage actually goes down because we're scaling crit, but in the beginning it will go up. But once again, having that lower chance to crit isn't really worth it. So that's just one thing to consider. Wow, I didn't realize it would bring my damage down that much. But yeah, Elemental Focus doesn't allow you to freeze or shock, which you can do with your added damage, and that can be a really big deal. So moving on to Act number 3, there are a couple of things you can do here. You actually do not get, I don't believe you get anger from the initial quest of saving or of getting the bracelet. Yeah, it looks like you don't get them, but what you can do, and how I got anger, is you can go do the library quest later on over here, and it's a level 30 quest. It's pretty easy. You go to Siosa here, and you go down into the basement of this zone and find 4 golden pages, turn them in. If you get them, it allows you to get anger, which will give you added fire damage to spells, which is huge. Just to give you an idea of how much damage that adds. Alright, so we have a little over 16,000, and we add this and it's well over 18,000. So a really nice amount of damage you get there. Nice satisfying sound with the ice explosion. But anyway, as you go on, you'll get the you'll get an additional spell here. What you want to get is Flamethrower Trap. I believe you get it from this. Yes. So you get Flamethrower Trap. Flamethrower Trap you can link with Trap and Mind Damage is the most important. And then I just put Combustion and Fire Pen. Combustion gives it some Ignite chance, and enemies ignited have -19 fire resist. You can just throw your Fire Trap underneath it. It has an Ignite effect on it, so they'll be taking that reduced fire resistance, and then this will pierce an additional amount of fire resistance. Plus we have, you know, all sorts of resistance penetration on the tree, like from high explosives and whatnot. So yeah, we're able to get through the fire penetration. It really burns it down. 3 flamethrower traps, even on just a 4-link, just absolutely tear down all the bosses I've run into so far. Especially if you throw a bear trap and or a ball lightning trap underneath them, it'll make them take that additional damage. So moving on to Act 4, you'll get your final piece of the puzzle. You'll get to upgrade your multi-trap to cluster traps, and cluster traps will make it so you throw 3 additional traps instead of 2, giving you 4 total. The only way you can get more is from the glove enchantment, which I have on another character, that will allow you to throw an additional trap, 5 total, and that's actually 20% more damage, so that's something to consider, or 25% more damage basically. So that's actually a huge deal. The additional traps are really, really big, because the area of effect kind of overlays. And honestly, from there on out, you just want to do little things like, or well, I say little, but pretty important things like add Fortify to your shield charge. You can get Fortify from the library quest as well. Kind of sort out which heralds you're using. Get 4 and 5 links. I like using Vol Lightning Trap. Regular Lightning Trap is okay, but Vol Lightning Trap specifically leaves shocked ground on the ground, making your opponents take a lot of additional damage. Bear Trap also makes them take more damage or increased damage from hits, and debuffs their movement speed, so that's pretty big. I do use a ice golem here to give me increased crit chance. You can also use a fire golem. You don't have to use a golem at all. It's not that big of a deal, but I find that I clear so fast that I don't really have an issue with having to resummon it too often. I do keep it on my middle mouse button in case I do need to resummon it. And lastly, I'm just gonna show off on some Atziri here. Just give you a good idea of how this works against bosses and whatnot. I've done a couple of runs that have worked pretty well. Alright. Chaos Spitters can still be a bit of an issue. But yeah, we just toss them in. All these blue enemies just explode into pieces. Just make sure we're trying to hit our... You don't really have to pay too much attention or hit too much. Just kind of throw your traps generally at where everything is. Pretty much blows up the room very nicely. Even these blue mobs are often going down in just one set of traps, sometimes two. Depends if they crit, and you can hear if they crit. Ooh, got a breach here. Alright, so we're gonna do this breach. There's a ghost in there. Oh yeah, and what I should be doing is, if you charge into this, you'll notice I get a Fortify bonus, which means I take less damage. And also, if I'm close, because of my ascendancy, the little shine you might see over the enemies is blindness, meaning they're less likely to hit me if they're blind. And also on top of that, they will take some they will do 10% less damage to me. Alright, so we're gonna try to get these clasp hands. Get all these done. We're getting some splinters. Oops. Takes the breaches out pretty easily. Alright, so that wasn't too bad. Oops. These spikes are not letting me get my splinter. There you go. Go pick up the loot. So a breach, I mean, this is only a level 70 zone and I'm level 85, so it's not that big of a deal, but some people have some troubles with Atziri, so I like to, just in case, never know, you might die, pop a portal here. And the way you deal with this is you get these both to come up at the same time. Gonna wait for a little bit, and once they start coming up, we're gonna start laying traps. I'm going to lay a bear trap and a couple of flamethrower traps and a ball lightning trap on this side, and then I'm just gonna throw fire traps on this side. So we're getting both of them going. Oop, it must have gotten rid of my flamethrower trap, so that was a bad example, but we cleared them. It took longer than normal because I messed it up. I threw too many traps. I forgot that if you throw a certain amount, they overwrite the original ones. So make sure you do that a little bit better than I do. But you may have seen that it's still insanely fast clear, even when I mess up pretty royally there. And yeah, the clear is super quick through this too. If you want to, if you're focusing more on it, it's very, very, very quick and easy. You can actually proc, because of the AoE on shield charge, you can actually proc down the stairs a little bit there. So, oops, put myself in not paying attention to the map. It's a little hard to commentate and do this at the same time. There you go. Alright, and we get right up next to these guys, we blind them. They do a lot of damage, but if you blind them, you'll take 10% less damage if they do hit, and they're less likely to hit you in the first place, so pretty big deal there. Ooh, give me that jeweler's orb, there you go. Alright, and pushing through, ooh, that hurt. Took a lot of, we do have a spell dodge, so the attacks from the chaos spitters kind of weakened a little bit. We dodged 30% of them. Alright, this one's a little harder. If you go past a certain point, then they'll proc. So what you want to do is you want to pre-lay a couple of traps over by her, by Elia, and then these two will get up here. The fire traps will take care of them. So the trio is down. Really quick, really easy trio. I forgot to use my diamond flask during that. It should have been a little bit faster once again, but it's still satisfactory in my books. Still pretty quick. Alright. And once again, we can resummon our thing. We're gonna throw a couple flamethrower traps down here. We get frozen, and we get killed by a detonate. So that's why you identify boxes. A little lesson, you should probably identify boxes before you do that. I was hoping I wouldn't die on camera, but I didn't die to any of the enemies. I died to my own stupidity, which is often the case, and that's why I play standard. I'm too lazy to identify those boxes most of the time. Okay, so we're just gonna go through again, no problem. We laid back the portal. Just in case something like that happened, I would recommend you just ignore the boxes when you're going through here, or just identify them. It's that simple, really. Oh. Superior Beach, oh boy. Alright. And getting through here. I also do not have an anti-freeze trap. I have an anti-bleed fast, an anti-curse trap. I have a lot of traps, or a lot of flasks, but I do not have an anti-freeze one. At the moment, I do not believe. So I should probably roll. Honestly, I should probably make this diamond flask anti-freeze. That would be the best, and that would be a good way to avoid dying like I just did. But yeah, you get Atziri. She doesn't start right away. You can kind of pre-lay a couple of traps. She'll just immediately... Yeah, she immediately went to this phase. While this phase is going, you can kind of just casually throw traps in the middle. Your AoE will take care of it all. It's not like she has any shield to regenerate anyway, so honestly, I could just do nothing here. But yeah, just really casually do it. When you notice that the trickle of zombies are starting to die down, you just... Oop. Wow. Okay, so that was terrible, but we're gonna just prelay some traps here, and then we're gonna prelay some traps here. And yeah, I was gonna say, I didn't know if she was gonna stage or not there. Alright, instantly staged her. And instantly staged her again. And instantly staged her again. And instantly staged her again. So we got a Mortal Grief, we got some boots. Let's see. Atziri's Step, neat. So there you go. Oh, and spell dodge, not too bad, not too shabby. We could actually potentially use these. Maybe. What I might do is I might try corrupting these once I 4-link them and everything. But yeah, that was Atziri. I did die, and I almost died again, but it had nothing to do with the build. It had everything to do with me just not being prepared and not being very smart about it. So hope you enjoyed. Yeah, I think this is a great starter build. I was able to clear everything that I can clear now without buying gear for the most part. I even found another 5-link, so it's not like, wow, look how disorganized I am. But I even found another 5-link, so it's not like I would have had to rely on the 5-link. I found 2 other 5-links. That one's really good, by the way. This is pretty solid. Too bad I can't get the links that I need. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you soon. Bye! Thank you to all my patrons for your generous support. Without you, I would not be able to continue making content. If you would like to be featured in the credits or find out how to help support me on Patreon, check out the link in the description below. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye!